No sia bo apɛ ma de shemama ye mamu nyina adwo amama kwaba eba UTV so ya obeka jan hyehye pause e won kran ye ka se bo efi oman mu na fa mahodo bi so mu fa so no so na no sia mpamu ye de so mu na ye ka musa aboafo special ice so de wotom na osa hye mu nyina no ahoden ko a special drink no so eno so e wo ho flavors ni makomako ensia e kon son obi abenya ono so ene ne die. This way chocolate drink and then the coffee drink anu ni amansa nyina agya to ba kwa beka ho this way 1 2 3 ahoden ko a no direct cream ano anu ye this way ebusu no ba ko anu ye mapada need fufu simadu na wood fufu no di kura me kura ne sa sanso na best point service alone so ada romanti amafo se kase mu ejina nyumakoi na esu yasem ye de kase bo na ebrem na de bedi mu akotini bi ni se mapania be de akire Dr. Bamadu Baumia ene dey address system bi a o maye hu dwumadie e wadenta no wako akwakohwe.
Attorney General the atuja say schools are chiremra e wo man Ghana mu a won hyehyɛ enswani no aban ebigu
na aloyafo ko batan no e de ato o man yi mpanyifo anim sɛ bebi etete aloyafo a ɛda no mu ensin wieye no wɔnhwɛ no mu wie ni nyina
ave ade hye wo ayikan do blue ene ne mpatamu ene wa yo ye kyerɛ pa a de tie mpanyifo ena ma kwan a wɔkyɛ sɛ enya nti
yeko enkransan so a health center e wo ho no amanebo nsaka kyese ne ma hye da nkoye entapobude ho nsam atosini
abaya beko sehwi asanwe so na manfo e ho kyerɛ sɛ bridge kese bi e ho no asɛi ayese fidie ende sempanifo anye sa bridge ne dia ene ahwe a manfo do na na beku
ensemi ka we no ho ne de bra mo sɛ kase bo e wo UTV so akenkanfo a yeso mo enanwumire eyeme Agya Kwabena mene
David Ofori Sarfo
Africa sabona mu nsam nie ena ga na mampani abede akire His Excellency Dr. Mamadu Baumia ekwa adenta ne nyina ne se address system bebie betumi ahwe sase masifie nie enkonkɔba so baka se bia o kwa Agya Kwabena fie a won mangudua bi na esuo ma me na toto kokɔ no fa na chi kakra bia bonsan kukobo bi so kukobo ni ho akyɛ se wan nyan ase no aduru fie ho we the address system abɛbɛboa se de be ya sa wo hwehwɛ obi akira kwan a obetumi hu ne nto na breko na so aboa ama empuntuo akonanim.
Sa new addressing system we no ehye Ghana Post GPS system no emu na eno no wo kire se ebenam so ama se wo kwa kope obi akira kwan e wo na adwumam anase ne fie a enya de ebe yira kwan kora de ama wo esan se nipa no ye beba no unique house number afen so ni street address nso ebe wo mu anase street name nso ebe wo mu digital address nso ebe ka ho QR code enso ehye mu ebia ebe kire wo efie kura anase japade kora na wo pe no se de eti anase ne bobre enti wo kwa koduru wo no mu anya de a obe yira kora we ni edi kan kro ma hyase a wo mo ye first phase no eno no na Ministry of Special Development Initiative na hyase CC and Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development wo mo ne Land Use and Special Planning Authority no ena aka bo mo ye mampani abedi akire ekokoduru adantam potemu no de tonsantwefo kra ni mpo se aban no ebo no ho modern se na ebe ya wo mo ebetimi edi Ghana Digital Address Database no akọ Google Map no eye platform no eso na se wo po obi akira kwan wo my Ghana mu a wankwa ankobre kra.
Government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is trying to solve a major problem that has faced this country, and this is the address issue. There are so many properties and so many houses that do not have an address, and that problem hampers development. If you do not have an address, how do you get the ambulance to come to your house? How do you direct them? How do you get the fire service to come to your house? How do you get the police? If, for example, there's a robbery taking place, how do you direct the police to come to your house? So we decided that we should, as the government, leverage on what we have already done in the context of the digital address system to provide addresses, unique addresses, to every house or property in Ghana. So Land Use and Special Planning Authority has been working very closely with the Ministry for Local Government and the assemblies. They've identified about 7.5 million properties and houses in Ghana. The idea for us is to make sure that each and every one of these properties has a unique address. So the first phase of the project is what we are witnessing now. We've printed about 4 million of the address plates for the 7.5 million properties that have been identified. And this, at the end of the day, will give us a very rich database for all properties in Ghana. And we'll combine that with this rich database for all individuals with a national ID card. So we have unique IDs for individuals. We will also have unique IDs for property. And that is very, very significant. We have begun discussions with Google, and so we expect that sooner rather than later, we will upload Ghana's digital address database, these housing properties, into Google Maps. So it's a major exercise that the president has asked us to undertake. The vision is very, very clear.
Osafo hwe akwani akwantempon so honorable Kwesi Amwako ata opani de ato contractors a oye Ghana akwan ene won supervise enim se akwan basa oye wo man Ghana mu so ye adwuma na answani a ene yeso mu a efiri sabri ko no Ghana mra ene obedipa eno ne nsama honorable Kwesi Amwako ata wo de atudwa
construction people don't know and go for nim yemfa material bia na eye adwuma bia de be ma as contractor no material wo de be ye test ye be test ye prescribe ma ye de call lab agency no ye wo lab ndi anwe wo de be ye adwuma blocks wo de be ye adwuma the strength of the block ye de bibia ko lab ko test na ya approve ama Senia uyali na uko hospital doctor ema uko ye lab test na wa mausu a drone but engineer no enko site ya engineer no enko site ya ube hu se contractor bia sabi onye ayi obetumi material bia ye enti no say aye necessary say contractor bia ye adwuma ensoni na say yehu na say yehu a wo contractor na wo ye any engineer wo supervise ye no mumienu nyina say asutwe bi wo ho a ye de ma mumienu nyina. That's the point I made. You classify contractors nyina ye na ye hu ne obia ebetumaye so yen fo bia nto ne say ye de no to because classification no enye ade a wunya ye permanent obetuma wo classification bi A1 B1 ochna na say move ba A2 B2 or A3 B3 so enye sacrosanct enye say wo akwa for life for performance equipment a wo any enuma wo ye so ehu hia pa wo so wan ye ni ya wo be ma enkrofo adwuma only ehu ahodin so na odi se kan no wantumi anwie ye mpese sa ni ma no ebekọ so enti classification no ye say ye hwe contractor ni obi ahodin wo ye mfa no nto it's simple.
And Attorney General, non-nuclear Minister of Justice, Eko Aprobo Omiahudrubi, Emanuku Pimu or Ghana Law School. Baby, Omeyi, Etwedi Atoa, Yedete lawyer for Nabru Druhono, and lawyer Max Upukwajima, one no share Chise Quancher for Penny, Edeto, Attorney General, and himself, one Kobom Penny, Abana Manie, say Law Village, baby, Yetete lawyer for, almost say one more AC, one more young into Abame or Mumu, send a bear, a bit to me for a lawyer for identity baby.
Nia wo hwe akire se pani kwantwerefo ama Ghana School of Law lawyer Max Olupoku Agyeman won na de adesrede we nyina no eto Ghana aban no animu a wo kire se ehu behia so obeboa wo mo na watimi asi eye 1500 capacity law village project no e de ama mo no watimi agye adesuafo bebre wo de fa eye aban lawyer pani attorney general so en wo de ensem nyina ko ye de ma aban
omo pass ye no mdoso nti e fa 1000 ni ekiri apim eni ekiri sa pimini ekire no awhwa na edan ya mu na se enti echemu miensa enti bi ba edwoda ne brada ne bia ba ukoda ne yawada ne bia ba efiada ene memini da ene ye dikurakura mu no ye first year for no nko ye second year for ye eye we nyina ewie no afi e ben so eden ya nipa be san apply ye ba san ka se ye fe nipa ne nipa ne ye be form no Is there no way na triple track na aha yema. Oko gimpa ayema. So what do you do? Yawa project your friend Law Village project. Abe mfie dionini. Omo abesin kono. Aya say baby bi. Ewo asase ay wo legon. Na yentimi nye. Ni nyina yesika asem. Enti afi management here say ese kwan bi aso. Yetimi bo modern si be si 4-story building. Ebe fa nipa 1,005. Sa 1,005 no ne omo library ni ade. As an emergency project, you be seen war, as I send so. The assassin Yajuso, a dinsu akoso, a casika, a debay. Sicano, in himself by quantimity, Namso, I a pebusia, a gusu, I a pebusia. I in him say, sit me a year by October, no. Nanka, a timmy 4-story building. A timisia near Timia Fanipa. Yes, sir, a nipa a befano, a beer. We make us a beer, a shedder. As a name, yes, and I said that. Just say, let me and a cacrabi and nibabet me at Tremocracia, dear, a beboa.
And watch a by lawyer penny on one society for share attending an ensom soon when young for Godfrey, a boa dame, and so as you woman we are watches Sikabianoa. Ghana School of Law won't be here, so I'm the video you made piano beshe. No abo chile ma buy no send a bay almost subenyan so as sinibi at the apple you made no akonkai.
The need for us to support the Ghana School of Law in its efforts. I'm aware that they are seeking to raise funds privately to build that school, but I think that there's a need for the Ministry of Finance acting on behalf of the government of Ghana to assist in that endeavor, and I'll definitely make sure that happens. I've already gotten in touch with the director, even with regards to the kind of allocation made for the Ghana Law School. I think there ought to be an appreciation of it, and in my discussion with the Minister for Finance, he has already expressed the inclination to assist with the sufficient allocation of funds in the media review. You know, the media review so is at the end of July. So the opportunity is not lost this year. We can still come up with something in the media review, and that will be done.
Yeguswa ewo adwumansa hwa the Attorney General and Minister for Justice Honorable Godfrey Adame ekoye ewo Ghana School of Law enkranhasi okoye no woni achechefo afei staff na student aiding kita ho no de etudwa achese schools a echire emra ewo man Ghana mu won a wontimi eni hye so no aban behwe na oguo.
Ebra ban lawyer penny on one side so for short and tin and some soon when for Godfrey Adame edin sem no to dwano and watch say legal education and ase emra ho adesua no eyade a se Ghana ni ba bia na se obi o wiase bia hunu se asemasi esua emra ho ade e wo school mu a ene na chese se nipa no bu ne pa eza se bibia fa emra ho bia no no dwen se sa nipa no enim enti emma wo mo adwuma ye no aya na nipa ebu enti se koba ne se e bia sa law school we no bonjada eni akande bi obetime de aboa ama omo nso adesua ne omo adwumadi omu die natimi akonkan ene na chese beba ne se wo mo beto sa school ni mu kura eno de won so kura anka se bia sa school no wonye adwuma wode nsami atu edwa ebra obo ana akokopie mu Ghana School of Law de wo makola wo enkran wone mpanifo akyerkyerefo adwumayefo ene adesuafo kokodi nkita ho ewo ho no mo ema obo akwanya ne de to ho ema adesuafo bisebisa ne nsama wodo a wo mo gidi se wo yi ano ede ma omo a ebetimi awie peye ene wode nsami eto wo monim.
That of course will involve SAT reform, to involve an amendment to the Legal Profession Act, because that sets out the structure of the law. And I think the appropriate way to do it is to ensure there's an amendment of the law to that effect. Yes, it will happen, but I think again we must still have an eye on the maintenance of the standards of the legal profession. It's a profession that thrives on standards. As I indicated, the law school is where the theory meets the law, and the last stage at which the lawyer is trained. So one way of going about it is also to ensure that the faculties meet the standards set by the Junior Legal Councils, and all faculties who do not meet such professional standards will ultimately be disqualified from running the courses. I think that's happened in other jurisdictions, the United States of America, the US. There is a situation of Charlotte Law School in North Carolina. It was closed down because we're having too many failed candidates, and the standards were quite low. So it's not uncommon. So I think the issue is not just about opening up access, but it's also about coupling it with a strengthening of the standards of the legal profession. and all. These are things that we cannot sacrifice in the interest of the nation. Therefore, there's a need for a fine refinement of that process.
Kura ye friend no Amusima ewo asebu abura asebu kwama kase bense mu fifi mantam no mudikuro ne din ene nana amo otoso nwotwe wodatu dwa kirem se ne manfo bedi ye no ene botaye a eda na nsupa
nebe afisuna muza fashe anende ne bi sinase obanende awo de katsina tankwete na wayo no na awo de yu adukuna abaphe ntutu nazabo kuma anede wumi sane gray wumi se aban kwa obaba bobo akodi a gire ohen na nimpelifo na nede kumanfo no wezi kan wahye nzeme bi ase ntutu ase ansana abanat wanka wabobo na me aduma obofu amosima mfe ni minutua akufu se botu me page ya na wo de yenye live na ICT center mo form opo na ko suaze se botu akoma do dam facility ya me chaze ko hu ko defo ma won so oyamo wa onu nsusu ade na ele yegu
adofa ye twehim wa ha Sunday, Oyen president na nado da kwakufa osa oyo benyina oka omo obiem onka no nkada na oye mbreka ka ye papa besi panu onwazi bebre na oye ne da koda fast papa ye da gifa kufusa sikesinara na ye da nananum na ni penyifusa si yakada nyankopon omayen president nkwada.
School feeding program ban eye no enhye ne bi ene se da bia school fo no ye ma obia edi kosua baako na nsem bi betodwa eche se aban ebegya kosua no na mackerel eye sardine ye beka free China na ide ama school fo no edi na no ene nsem betodwa no owura Hanan Abdul Wahab one is the Chief Executive Officer at the National Food Buffer Stock, HSS, Sansemno, and Kribia Enim.
The attention of the National Food Buffer Stock Company Limited has been drawn to a widely circulated Facebook post originally authored by Mr. Kofi Asare, the Executive Director of Africa Education Watch, on a purported investigation on why senior high schools are not buying eggs now as it is used to be in the case in the period prior to January 2021. He alleges that, and I quote, in January this year, an order came from Accra that a certain company, Lamens Ventures, has been contracted by government, into bracket, don't forget the free senior high school budget was held at the presidency, to supply imported Chinese mackerel to all senior high school in Ghana, and that since this company started supplying the Chinese mackerel, many schools started doing 1 egg a week instead of 3 eggs that was done previously. The post further alleged that the supply of mackerel to schools has reduced egg consumption by 70% and created unemployment, especially among poultry farmers. The allegations are totally false and should therefore be disregarded. The following should clarify the issues. 1. As a deliberate policy, government decided to use the free senior high school to support local farmers and the poultry industry. 2. Food produced in Ghana are to be used locally, whilst all other food items not locally produced were to be imported by buffer stock licensed suppliers at competitive pricing and supplied to schools without compromising quality and quantity. 3. Mackerel and eggs have been part of the national approved menu for students since the inception of the program in September 2017. And it remains same till date. Government decided that mackerel be supplied by buffer stock together with 17 other food items, which are described as non-perishable foods such as cocoa powder, vegetable, and mackerel. The schools were mandated to be in charge of the purchase of other items described as perishable, which includes egg, fresh fish, vegetables. Therefore, NAFCO has no role in the purchase of eggs since the schools are enjoined to deal directly with poultry farmers and egg suppliers. Purchase under perishables are done with a 30% budget given directly to the school by the Ministry of Education. The purchase of the 30% quota items are strictly done by the schools with 30% grant for the procurement of perishable goods, which eggs are included. There has not been any policy that compels senior high school not to buy eggs. The mackerel and eggs are not mutually exclusive. Schools can buy eggs if they so wish, in addition to the mackerel supplied by buffer stock. In the absence of the funds for perishable, school heads use their discretion to manage menu for the student. Poultry farmers engage the schools on a cash basis. It is not the case that mackerel was included or introduced in national approved menu in January 2021. It has always been part since September 2017. As a responsible state agency, we will continue to avail ourselves to any individual or group desirous of appraising themselves on our mandates and operations.
Nansa na bande mra hodo bi ba ye mu ba ko ene energy sector levy na eno no bibia e de eto kakra eto enefa ngo ne nema hodo so e de be bo manimpuntuo na bomo a eton gas kuo e wo maganum kire se eyo mu nwa ye pa se abande peso du nwotwe 18 Ghana pesos eto eye gas konko ba ko so na no mo kire se bibia bana ya o mo adwuro mu ye pesan se bre ye kasa no amagas bo aye de na nya de a ebe bo man no e kwan bia so.
LPG so a product be a sebi a mass product obi a use bi ntu pagya bonum sa na no amahiafo ho akwahiahim pa ndi ebesere so hwa for the past 6 months since from October to March LPG bo no akosoro by 20%. Akosoro pa near ton October how be near ton be 4 cedis something. They say 6 cedis 30 pesos. Nti mu apagya pa nti assign the 18 pesos ya be ka ho de a na kire say akoye sotro mienu na sotro mienu so de sabi ema enihan han na ye de study ye di kan ya ka no aban momoden na nka de wo ho dada kura no onyin free so mayen said be ya de price no be kofom na be ya attractive to people because se wo hwe West Africa haya said the medical kind no ye you know it was so pa ye LPG price no it was so pa nti besere sa ban enye emanomra emabonomra form said the be ya obia betimi use bi.
Option Kase Free United Television UTV so you try ho agin krato e ba e beto ansem no eso